What struck me, first of all, I think the very first thing I ever did in the community must have been the first week. There was one of those community meetings held in Columbia Hall where you had 300 or 400 people, and an incredible emotional energy in the room. You could feel it; it cut the air, because people were holding on to all kinds of anger, all kinds of sense of betrayal, all kinds of a lot of people are holding a need to just to blame somebody, to find somebody to be hold accountable, to explain why they shouldn't be implicated. I'm not trying to pretend that was ever anything other than a really difficult process, but something changed at some point when we began to say, well, let's at least create the opportunity for people to have conversation with each other and begin to put out on the table the various interests and needs that had to be accommodated. I'm a strong believer in needs-based processes, needs-based negotiation. So much happens where, and it could be in a civil war situation, which I'm more familiar with generally, or in a labor management situation, or any kind of conflicted situation like that, including at a community level. Things can change, in my experience, when people are able to find a safe place to be able to declare, here's what we need, here's what I need, rather than going to the place, which is what we normally do much more frequently, of projecting motives, or on the one hand, or censoring oneself. So that would be my first suggestion, is get things out on the table. Create the opportunity for people to say what they are needing, and that can include a hope. Something that I think Naramata has a lot of experience with is realizing hopes. People have had various dreams. Somebody a few years ago had a dream for a seniors housing facility. It was impossible because there wasn't the money, because there wasn't the place, Well, there is one now. People have had all kinds of dreams over the years in Naramata. That's why they come to Naramata in many cases. As a community, that can happen too. It doesn't have to just be something that is individually held. It can be a community-based thing as well. Sometimes you'll have interests that are going to be obviously competing or conflicting, or at least fundamentally different. But that doesn't mean that there's not a way to begin to, through conversation, through recognizing that people have a stake in a resolution of an issue like the packing house or that property, that the various interests and needs can in some way be reflected. Maybe not 100%, don't get my way all the time, but something that people can feel proud of, and a sense of common ownership of. Just think of the various things that have happened over the course of the past decade. Look at that waterfront park with a market, a splendid market on it through the summer, among many, many other things. Those aren't just things that have happened because an individual who had the capital or whatever was able to do their thing. It was because a bunch of people came together around a vision and were able to do something together. I think Naramata has huge experience and skills in that, if it's able to move itself into that place of dialogue.